everyone. Welcome to Arsenal Fan Circle. Welcome to the Thursday Night Forum. Uh, and listen, welcome to all of you who have joined us because not the best result tonight against PSV Eindhoven. We need more, and we needed to match their intensity going away from home in the Europa League. Oh, we all know what we needed. We needed to win the game, or at least draw the game, get something out of it, and we'd be sitting pretty in this group and already qualified. But we're going to go to the last uh, day of this group of these group league matches, and we've got FC Zurich coming into the Emirates, but we could have nipped all of that in the bud. So anyway, with all of that being said, maybe Stan's going to join us, but we've got Tony here. Hey, Tony.
Hello.
We've got Gary.
Hello.
And Alonso. How we doing?
Okay. Hello.
All right.
You only care how Alonso's doing. Fuck Gary and Tony.
I asked you as well. I did.
I
asked you as well. So listen, thank you for everyone. We appreciate you being here live or on Rewind. Rudy's here, evening flight crew. Hope everyone's doing well.
Gene? Who? Like, really? Who is Gene? I don't understand that.
Gene Takovich, I think it is Better Call Saul. So there is a character.
I don't like that. That's not my name. So, really, can you please not say that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cease and desist, ready, or you'll be getting a letter from Saul. Okay.
Stupid, man. I don't quite get that. Whatever.
BX Gunner, anyone else go to sleep after that game? LOL. Took a long nap and just ate now, ready to digest that performance. Eddie and Erdegaard, not good enough. Fabio looks like he's more mobile enough to the task for it. All right. BX Gunner, thank you for a call to action. If anyone's new here, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button.
just pick up the fella already, Gary. He's been crying for an hour. Come on.
I can't. What am I supposed to do? He doesn't want to go outside. He doesn't want to go inside.
Just hold him.
He doesn't want,
I'll hold him. I'll see if I can hold him.
Viewers would like to see him as well. Ready. Yes, I took a long nap after the game. Was already tired from work. Watching the game invited more sleep. I watched the highlights or whatever that was, and I can summarize the game in a couple of paragraphs. Assembled. Evening, everyone. This is going to be extremely enjoyable. Look, you go away from home in Europe, the other team has a chance to beat you as well. We didn't come. We didn't apply ourselves, and we got what we deserved in this game. Thunder Road's here. Haven't watched the Europa group stage since Bodo Glimt at home. Can't be bothered. I did like us wearing white shorts with black numbers to avoid the kit clash. And the standard of football in the Europa League is not great, but it's on us to get out of that competition and be in the Champions League.
Why weren't they forced to wear white shorts? I mean, they're red and white, so they might as well wear white shorts. Why is it always a road team that has to pander?
I don't know, but out of today, that's the least most important question for me. Out of today, is the kit. I want to know why we didn't turn up, why we didn't apply ourselves.
You know what we look like, Ray?
What?
We look like the exact same team that didn't show up for Newcastle near the end of last year.
Yeah. The other team had more desire, more hunger to win the game. Tony was at the doctor's. Hope you're doing well, Tony. And listen, I want to give a shout out to my nephew. He won the school's championship. He won the school's final at Croke Park today. So congratulations to Zach for that. The dog wants to say his piece on the dreadful performance, Gary.
You guys suck.
Thunder Road. That sounded like a baby. I assumed it was coming from Ray.
See, I told you all you had to do was hold the thing, Gary, and Been nice.
Yeah, but every time I tried to, he didn't want to come. Kept running away. So
Hey, at the end of the road, did you watch the NASCAR race on Sunday?
Gary's wife picked out that dog, right, Gary?
actually, I didn't find out about the dog until
He was in the
I was
house.
it was on Facebook.
It's okay. It's okay. You're not the only one in the world that's happened to. You know,
And
dog turns
when
up.
I said we got a dog, people thought I was kidding.
Here's the assembled. BX, I'm waiting for Ray's slant on the game and how he's going to convince us that what we saw was as bad as we all know it was. I don't have to convince anyone. I agree with everyone. I agree with all of you here. Listen, Gary, we had a run of Brentford, Tottenham, Bodo at home. A good performance, 3-0. Liverpool at home. And that's now been followed by a run of bad games. Bodo away, Leeds away, PSV at home, notwithstanding thankfully we beat PSV at home. Southampton away, and now this result at PSV. What's going on this month?
Fatigue.
It's hard to tell exactly what everything is. I think it's if it's fatigue, it's because we didn't rotate sooner. You can't just rotate when everything doesn't when things start to get.
We haven't rotated yet, Gary. Putting in the same players for the last.
You gonna
30
talk for
minutes
me, or
of
you
the
gonna let
rotation.
me speak?
Yeah, let the man say his piece first.
I thought we were having a discussion.
I didn't even get a chance to say my piece, anything.
Go ahead, Gary.
But anyways, so
Fight,
no,
fight.
I felt like everything I've said has come to fruition all in one big swell. Boom. It's what we've seen today, right? We don't have the depth to play with any of our backup players. They can't do what it seems like any of the things that we need them to do based on what we see from our starting 11. They kind of seem like they bring down, the starters that come in and play with them. That's what we've been seeing, right? And fatigue, you can't have fatigue just yet. I mean, we're only 13, 14 matches into this season. If we're gonna be tired already, we got a problem. Now, mentally drained, I can see it, right? Because I think they're being asked to do a lot, and I think being top of the table, being top of the group, that wears on you. No matter what you say, we're just not there yet. We don't play well in these type of situations, and we didn't last season when we had we were basically 3 points from securing the fourth spot. We had 3 games in a row. You win one of them, we're done. Yeah. What do? We lose all 3. All right, you need to at least draw this next match. Can't do that. Today, all we needed was a draw. Couldn't do that. Right? And now we need to go out and win, just like we did the last time. Right? We've been in a situation last season, but for top 4. Now we're in a group stage of Europa. We need to go out and win. But the problem is now we are stretching our team really, really, really thin. Right? They have to play this weekend. They got to play on Thursday, and they got to play on Sunday. The best 11 we got, it's got to play, or else it doesn't make sense what we're doing here, because these games are really crucial to the way we end this part of the season going into the World Cup. Got to stop the rot, right? Got to stop this losing that we just, we haven't been playing well at all, but we've been getting wins, and that's been sugarcoating everything. Now we have to win, right? We got to win against, Forest. We got to win against
Zurich.
And then, when you come back Chelsea, you just can't. That's a team trying to take our spot.
Yeah.
I mean, all these next 3 games are all crucial. These are 3 tests. I talk about tests every day, and this is another test we're going to have to pass. We're going to figure out a way to get through it. I think everything about the team today was wrong. Everything. You can't pick like one person and say, you know what, they did well. I think as a team, we were just terrible today. As a coaching staff, we were terrible today.
Yep.
Yeah. So, it just it's disappointing, but we saw this coming. This, like you said, this has been the 5th match in a row where we've looked poor for about a half. Today we said, you know what? we're going to double down. We're just going to do it for the entire match. For the entire match, we looked terrible. We had opportunities to maybe wake ourselves up, maybe get a goal here or there that's changed the tide. We couldn't do it. And then eventually they get their goal, and then, we looked like we lost the way. And we still had opportunities to try to get a goal, and we just couldn't finish the deal. We weren't clinical enough again, and we paid for it. We got lucky 3 times. They scored 3 times, and 3 times offsides calls it back.
Yep.
Can't do that when you got the game. You just needed a point. Just needed 1 point.
Just needed 1 point. As Reddy said, absolutely agree, Tony. Memories of Newcastle away from last season. Isambo's telling me my backward stepping hasn't gotten any better. I'm going to call it as it is. We are dipping in form. I don't think it's fatigue at all. I think that we've dipped in form, and we're not playing well right now. And we had home conference, and we had big challenges with Tottenham and Liverpool. We stepped up to those challenges. We got ourselves up for those big games. But when we go into bread and butter games against Leeds, Southampton, and this PSV away from home, we don't match the desire of the other team. Tony?
Can I have my rebuttal against you and Gary?
Yes.
Gary said it first.
Yes.
When you've already played for 1,000 minutes, some of the players up to 1,200 minutes already, not even quarter point of a season, not about a third of 30% away of a Premier League. That's a lot of minutes under a lot of legs. Tonight, you've seen all the big boys come on with 30 minutes left. They'd already scored 2 goals, and most of them came on as a waste, so it kept them in the hangar. No reason chasing the game when you're 2 goals behind. But there's plenty of guys are fatigued. Premier League wins the first sub, usually 75 to 82 minutes. That's too long. And then Europa, you're playing your friends' players, a little bit of your younger players. Subs happen in the 60 minutes, 70 minutes, and who's coming on? The starters. Jesus, Saka, all those guys. So they're fatigued, Ray and Gary. I don't care what you say, they're fatigued. Performance is dropping. Nothing else has changed. Only maybe a little bit of teams have caught on to our high line once we went away through most of the most recent games. Tonight, we had a back 3 for the first 20 minutes. We looked good for the first 20 minutes. After that, we did not look good. So he has to figure out how to rotate them. There's enough players to rotate, give them rest. You don't need to take everybody with you on Europa games. They can rest. Might as well just pull out academy players tonight. They've been better off because all we have to do is beat Zurich to win the group.
Yeah.
I don't know why we went so hard for it tonight. Makes no sense. Definitely makes no sense when you're 2-0 down. Bringing on Jesus, Gabriel, all those guys. Just I don't know what you're trying to do.
Okay, let's park that 1 second. Say hello to Stan. Hey, Stan, how you doing? Looking very dapper there.
Yeah, I'm just doing the housework.
Putting you to work, huh?
Yeah, I'm on set at the moment.
Yeah.
You look like Alfred.
Oh, I had myself more down as James Bond, Tony, but cheers.
Stan looking like his performance reconnaissance in Mission Impossible. Yeah. Did you happen to see the game, or do you have any input on the game, Stan?
Well, I just saw a little bit of the first. I just see a little bit of the first half, and then I had to go and do some bits and pieces of work. And then when I came back and checked the scores, it wasn't very favourable. So I'm quite interested to hear of what some of your thoughts are on the game, as I missed a lot of it. What I did notice was the starting lineup, obviously, and then it looked like at some point in the match we brought on a lot of our first team, but it looks like they wasn't able to dig us out of the hole that we were already in.
No.
So I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say, to be fair.
Okay. Gary, you want to jump in? You've probably seen most of the game. And you're on mute, I think.
I'll go if Gary doesn't want to.
I know you will.
No, sorry, I was muted. I was like, what is Tony talking about? I'm talking here to myself. But no, I was saying Riddy's comment. I never said we came in wanting to draw. I think we cannot play for a draw. We don't. That's not what you watched us play all season. We can't turn it down to where we can actually say, you know what, we're gonna pull out a draw from this match. We just can't do it. The style of play that we have has us going forward at all times. So we're gonna win. We're either gonna win it, and usually we win it. But I don't think we can play for a draw. This match looked like it. I mean, it was a good starting lineup. He had to rest some people, so he rested Saka. He rested Partey. He rested Gabriel.
Yeah.
We had to Ramsdale actually had to start because Turner pulled a groin, I guess, and so pulled a muscle, so he was out. Going into this, I was hoping that we don't go with the holding Saliba pairing in the back line, but we did, and I don't think that works. This is the second time I've seen it where I'm like, nah, and it didn't work today. Erdegaard playing, I think Erdegaard and Xhaka and Sambi playing in the midfield. I think that our midfield combination just doesn't work. The way the game was going, it looked like only one team was actually trying to win it, and it wasn't us. It wasn't us at all. I mean, that first half, they had 2 goals get called back because they were offsides. They were going for it. We had opportunities to score. I think Nketiah had a shot, I believe, early in that first half. He wasn't able to finish it. I mean, we had who else we had? I think Martinelli had a. He had to get a ball down. He got it down and took a volley on it and hit it wide. So we had some opportunities to put a shot on target. It just didn't happen. Didn't happen today. As a team, I didn't think we came out looking like we had the urgency that we wanted to get something out of this match. I say if you're not going to come out to try to get something out of it, then you know what, you're probably it's going to look like this. That's what it looked like. One team is basically trying to get something out of it. The other team is just getting a little, run around, it looked like. I mean, we did not look. And then by the time we started showing any kind of fire, the match was over, and that's when all the yellow cards start coming out. So entirely, it was 90 minutes of just yuck, right? We've been poor in the second half for the last number of matches. Today, we just went full 90 minutes. Where we did not look like we were trying to get something out of this match.
Gary, do you think that we went there just trying to get a point and taking our time and just being happy to try and scratch out a point?
Yeah. What's funny about that is I was listening to a PSV fan talk about, the last game that we had against them, and he was saying, you know what, that's not the way we play. We went in there and went to Emirates trying to get a draw. They almost did. Saka basically, shined bright and scored. And took that away from them. They came out today ready to go, like they did in parts of the game that we saw at the Emirates. Pretty much the whole time they just attacked us, and we didn't look like we were prepared. I mean, our passes were off. I mean, we just looked, we couldn't string a number of passes together to get anything out of this match. I mean, everybody was poor. It wasn't just one person. Everybody was poor. It's like the entire plan coming in just was. It was almost like they weren't prepared to play at all today. Everybody.
Yeah.
Did you, Stan, did you get to watch any of it?
I watched a bit of the first half.
Yeah, but one point of the first half, we had 75% possession, basically just passing it about, no interest to attack.
Were we doing as the bearded one, the bearded Gooner calls it, the horseshoe of despair? Where we just keep passing it around the perimeter of their penalty area and not actually going towards the goal.
A little bit. Eddie tried to shoot a couple of times.
We had a lot more touches in the goal, but we weren't looking to score. I mean, we took more shots from inside the box. I mean, it was everything. Like you said, the stats were all in our favor. We had 70% of the possession. We had more shots inside the box. We even had more shots on target. I mean,
Yep.
like I said, the match could have been 5-0 because they had 3 goals come back.
They had
They
had more on target, Gary. They had 8 shots, 5 on target. We had 15 shots, 3 on target.
We were lucky to get out of there with a 2-0 defeat.
We
It
kept
should have been 6-0 because all the offside calls and
towards the end, Stan, we were a little bit 6 and 7. So Ramsdale was not happy with the defense in front of him. So this is the game we have to put in our rearview mirror. And as Arteta said, we have to have a reset now. The Assemble is asking me, Ray, do you believe Arsenal have a problem with low block teams? I think at times we do have problems with low block teams when we're not playing well, we're not able to move the ball quickly enough and cohesively enough. I think we do struggle with low block teams. We have creative players, but sometimes they don't take their opportunities as well.
the problem is we still don't have a plan B. You have to do what Arteta says, kind of takes creativity out of a team.
So this is a good question, Tony. Does anyone think that we lack proper preparation or the players are not good enough? I'm going to go with the latter there. Some of the so-called depth in our team are just not good enough.
That can't be an excuse.
That's not an excuse.
Because these are the players. All of these players are his players. So if anybody knows how they're going to play in whatever style they're going to play in, it's got to be Arteta because he wanted all of these players. So then to say that they're not good enough, I think you have to prepare based on whatever lineup you're going to bring, whatever squad.
I mean, look at the players you got: Terry, Tomiyasu, Saliba. You want to say those players aren't good enough, right?
The ones who are coming on, the ones who are on the substitutes bench.
Those are his players, so he has to figure out.
That's Saka, Jesus. That's our star players, right?
So Gary, you like Lokonga? You think he's progressing? You like?
I don't. No, he's not. He is not Partey. So if he's not Partey,
stop comparing him to Partey.
No. Let me talk. He's not Partey, but we keep playing him like that, and then basically all it does is it just weakens our midfield because we don't play. He cannot. He's not in a position to succeed when he plays on the pitch. So basically, the whole midfield is just, for me, anyways, just looks poor. And I think we play a style and we stick to it no matter who we play. We've seen this last season, right? Continually playing Tavares and going, he cannot play that position. Why do we keep doing this? Same thing. You play with Nketiah up top. You play with Sambi in the middle. You play, for me, with Holding in the middle. You just weakened your spine. And we paid for it today.
Now when you get to the 14, 15, 16 player, they're not good enough. They're not good enough to come on, change the game, and affect things. Tony?
Zombie was coming off the pitch when they scored.
Yeah.
He didn't do anything wrong the entire game. He was actually playing defensive mid. He was for the first 20 minutes. There's 3 center backs, and he was right in front of them. Big gulf between him and the rest of the players, but he was still making pretty good passes.
Tony, I think it's interesting when you take these 2 games in comparison. PSV at home, Sambi Lokonga came off, and Partey had to come on to win that game for us. Sambi Lokonga did not have us in a winning position. Not just on him, right, today, but when he was coming off, we lost the goal. Right at that point in time, So
and we lost another one right when Partey came on. So.
Yeah. The goal we can see the goals right about when the substitutions were happening, and these things can happen. Gary, do you think that players are good enough
to play Arteta's style now?
You just said that he's picked them. He's picked
them. So he needs to change. He cannot keep asking them to do the same things, and it's failing. There's got to be a better way to play than they have, whatever that is. 3 at the back, whatever it is. We're just not playing like. My question isn't like we can't play the same style when we start bringing in our reserve, our squad players, because they cannot answer the call. They cannot do the things he's asking them to. So everything just doesn't look right anymore. So we need to change that. I don't have the exact answer because I'm not a football coach manager, but it's not. We can't just do the same thing with different players and expect the similar results. Like we don't have a Partey, we don't have a Jesus, we don't have a Saliba or Gabriel, depending on who you put on that back line, right? We have answers at fullback, yeah. You even have an answer, I think, for behind Erdegaard, but we just have a lot of spaces where we don't have the same player behind, but we continue to play the same way, and it doesn't work. I think you have to set your team up to succeed based on the talents that you have on the pitch. We don't do that, so then we look like we're trying to do the same things, and it's failing, right? And teams can just, like they said, sit back and do all this stuff. You have to, he's got to know a better way to play with this squad of players because he's going to have to. He has no choice. These are the players that he has. So when he goes to them, he's got to put them in places to succeed, and he's not doing that.
He's given Sambi Lokonga minutes. Wouldn't you say that's position to succeed?
No. The minutes don't mean anything if you're not putting it. If he can't, Tony says he did nothing wrong, and I'm like, well, the way that we play, that position sitting in front of that back line usually helps control it and can actually take the ball all by themselves, right? And split the defenders and come through the middle. Sambi is hesitant to do that. He does it once in a while, but he's very hesitant to do that.
He looks good when he does it, but today he was...
Well, exactly. That's my point. He is not doing he does it, say 1 out of every 5 times it looks like he does it, but he needs to be able to do that.
But that had to be the game plan. There's mainly three at the back, and he was right in front. We're trying to protect the goal. But you can't do that with Rob holding on.
That's not how we play, is it? You
but
put
can we
Partey
say,
in there, do we play the same way? No.
But can you say we have a bad team when you have Ramsdale, Saliba, Tierney, Tomiyasu, Xhaka, Odegaard, Martinelli, and Vieira all starting? I would say that's a pretty damn decent
individually.
Tell me why we looked so bad today, because you're telling me we have it's all working with the starters that we have in there, and has nothing to do with the squad players that we put in there. So tell me, why did we look bad today?
We didn't match desire.
And we've looked bad.
No desire. Like
football is about desire. You have to have a willpower and will to win the game. Stan.
Last season, we went through those clumps, didn't we, of going through clumps of 3 games without the right results, little patches. Yeah. Do you think that we're starting to see that again this season? I mean, we've gone through, the first part of the season, 10 games, winning 9, doing well in Europe. At some point, there's going to be, I would imagine, a little bit of slump in form. Otherwise, we'd be going invincible every year. Yeah. So do you think that we're starting to see that creep in from last season?
Yeah, you could say we could have lost the Leeds game. We could have easily lost it. Last year, we would have lost that Southampton game, perhaps. And we lost tonight. So those are the clumps. We have improved by getting, a draw at Southampton, and we were lucky. We were dead lucky to get a win at Leeds.
I don't know if you heard me, if you were on yet, Stan, but I said it looked exactly like the Newcastle game last year when we had the top 4 was in our hand. All we had to do was win. This team was flat. Didn't look like they were playing.
And which means that, when you put a little bit of pressure, right? Everything, as Stan has said, things tighten up, right? Things tighten up, and then you play like this.
Yep.
Right? Nobody wanted to go out there and actually try to win this game for us today, right? Nobody. All right, we you know what? This is we'll settle for making it to the next round. You know what I mean? This is like we're in Europe. So you know what? These matches, even if we don't win them, it's all right. We're in Europe, right? That's what it's got. And then you heard it exactly from, the management. Well, you know what? We wanted Europe and we got Europe, and they were satisfied with it. Not necessarily disappointed with the fact that we had an opportunity to do better, right? We had an opportunity to get top 4. Today, we had an opportunity to just win the group. We had an opportunity to maybe rest up for a big match we have on Sunday, right? We don't have that opportunity anymore. Now it's all we have to go out there and I believe and try to win everything we got up until after that Chelsea match.
Yep. Thunder Road's asking, what option do we have at DM with Mohamed El Neni out with a long-term injury? Somebody has to play there, and it won't be Party during the group stages, and that's what we're seeing. We're seeing the
Maybe
drop off.
Ben White would be the only person you could put there almost.
There's 3 players who can play that position at the club, and it is Partey, it is Lakonga, and it is Mohamed El Neni.
Ben White can
Xhaka?
play there.
Xhaka?
Xhaka gets red cards. Why is he stealing your shit again, Stan?
Well, it all depends on who
I
is
don't
the
know,
host
but
last.
my legal team will be in touch. So.
And you know what? You left it hanging around. Is basically what's going on there. No, I hear everybody. These are our DMs, but for me, we can't just go. You know what? We're just gonna play you in that position, even though I know you can't do it, and then go. You know what? That's just the way it works. We're not gonna change up the formation, right, to make it maybe a little bit easier for us to handle with the squad that we have. I don't understand why that can't be the answer. Why it has to be. You know what? We're just gonna stick with this formation, and you're plug and play into all the positions, and it's just gonna work because it doesn't. Right? It doesn't. We saw it last season. It didn't work. The only place right now where we are solid, right, with coverage when we go to our second player is our fullbacks, right?
Fullbacks, maybe the Erdegaard or Fabio Vieira.
Yeah, maybe, but we don't know because we don't. I think Fabio still might need a little bit of time, but the fullbacks is basically what we want. He wants versatile players, right? They can play anywhere, and we don't lose anything, right? Yeah. We don't have that anywhere else.
Fabio looked like he's in the wrong position playing right wing. He needs to be in the midfield. Put Marquinhos there. Yeah. He did not look good there.
Samuel said BX, no, it's the same performances season in, season out. We capitulated exactly the same way, in my view. That tells me he can't motivate the players. Here's the situation in Group F, Feyenoord have Lazio. Feyenoord need to beat Lazio in the last game of the season. Lazio beat them 4-2, and Feyenoord will need to do the return in the next day out. And my point being is, when you're playing, these teams at home are strong in Europe, and it's very difficult to go in there. We didn't match the desire tonight. It was very much like a Newcastle game, as Tony mentioned. Monaco need a win on the last day of the season, and Man United need to beat Real Sociedad in the last game of the season as well. So the point being that these tables are going right to the end to confirm who's going to be first and who's going to be second. We know the stakes that are at play here. You get a buy. You get a buy into the last 16, Tony.
Yeah, we've seen the team, Barcelona, Juventus, those teams are locked in the third place, be parachuting into Europa. We don't want to face those. Still don't know why we didn't.
Well, that was the incentive today, though. That was the incentive today. The same incentive you're talking about was the same incentive today. Today, you win. You don't need to even be concerned with. Well, we have extra games in the Europa League.
And what happened, Gary?
A throwaway game. Why don't you wait until next week when you have the easiest
Gary,
team?
What happened? PSV needed that motivation to get the win today, and they went and got it. They didn't. Arsenal did not match the desire.
Would you rather played with kids today, Ray?
Think about what you're just saying. You're just saying exactly what we did last season. What we played, I forgot which order it was when we played. That team, and we played. Was it Brighton or whoever it was that we played?
About the last 3 games,
Newcastle, whatever it was. The 2 that we lost after the 3, where we had to we just drew one, and
it was Tottenham and Newcastle.
Newcastle, right? So we needed to draw one of those games. The easier game was the Newcastle at that point. Right?
Yep.
And we couldn't do that either. So now you're saying we're in that same situation again, but it's going to work this time, right?
I'm saying we didn't match the desire of PSV today. That's plain and obvious to me. And the players didn't turn up,
Yeah,
didn't
but
match the desire. Yes,
wouldn't it work if you put the younger players out there that have more desire?
I mean, hindsight's a great thing, Tony, but we've gone through this group stages by mixing the strength. Right, Stan. We've been mixing the tea bags in the hot water, right?
We have. But I mean, Tony does make a good point when we choked at Newcastle,
Yep.
and then we only needed a point to get business done today, and now we've made it more difficult for ourselves.
Yep.
But I mean, is this a part of having a squad that's still gaining experience to certain extents in some of the players that we have? I mean, Sambi's definitely someone who's still gaining experience. I think it's fair to say that Martinelli's still gaining experience. I mean, he's not really played in Europe before. You could probably say the same for Saka.
And Eddie.
Definitely Eddie. But the rest, sort of know what they're doing. I'm not sure about Teabag, what he was doing over there in Portugal, but I'm sure Odegaard's done bits when he was on his loans in other clubs. So it just seems that when we put too many of the second string out for a match, rather than just putting one or two in, it seems to me there's a massive drop-off. That's what I'm feeling, even though I didn't really see the game today. It sounds like there's such a big
Even when we
drop-off.
put the first team in, it still didn't look any better, Stan.
Yeah, I saw we put 5 players on and they were all first stringers, so I don't get that. And they're only going to Holland. It's not like it's a million miles away. It's an hour on the plane.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the players that came in were Partey, Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Jesus, Gabriel Megalegs, and Ben White.
Odegaard. Oh, Ben White. Sorry.
Ben White.
They didn't look like they were prepared to play today.
No.
And they needed to be because this is an important game.
Yeah.
It's a very
How
important
would it
game.
went for the game next week? It was a much easier game.
No, but the next week game puts even more pressure on you because then you have to turn around afterwards and you're going to have to play Chelsea. Right? So there's this string of games now that we have. I believe there's a lot of pressure on each one of them. We want to stop the poor form that we've been in for the last 5 matches. We want to stop that, so we want to get a win and actually feel good about the win and feel like we actually we've built something we can a base that we can get improve on and get better in the next match. We've been getting gradually worse and worse and worse in these 5 matches that we played.
I think we're really missing Zinchenko and his leadership.
Yeah. Listen, let's enjoy it as well. We got 5 games to go, and then we've got a famine.
I don't want to enjoy this.
You're not going to enjoy watching Arsenal.
No. What we just saw today, I'm not going to enjoy this. I can think about tomorrow, but we want to talk about the future now.
Are you going to look forward to Sunday's game
tomorrow?
But look at Man City. I mean, they play fantastic football, but they've not won every single game they have played in this season so far. So I think we have to accept sometimes that there will be bad days. The problem is if it starts to be a reoccurrence and we start to string together 4 or 5 games when we know
this is our 5th game in a row that we've been porous in.
Yep.
This is our 5th game in a row. So you're talking about it. No, this is it. This is what it looks like. Since we played since we played Liverpool, the next 5 matches we've gradually gotten worse and worse and worse in terms of this half was bad, this half was bad, this half was bad, and today basically for a full entire match.
So
bad.
I want to ask this question: Are we not in form? Is it the home versus away? Because we played games at home mostly, getting good results. Away
I still think
home,
it's fatigue.
Do you think? Yeah, we got that. Do you think it's the big games we're getting up for them, but we're not getting up for bread and butter games, Tony? Which one?
I just think it's the fatigue of playing games every 3 to 4 days. Like I told you back in August, October was a decide where we are as a team because next year the fixtures are to be packed. You got the FA Cup, most of the League Cup, then you're to have the knockout rounds of Europa, then you're to have 20 some odd league games, so you're to have a lot of games. They're to come sometimes 2 and 3 days, like when the New Year's fixtures, Boxing Day, those, you're having games every 48 hours. Right now we're so, and we're not built for it.
BX Gunner says it's also the fact that we need quality players with strong winning mentalities. Players coming in January can't be fillers, but starters and challenging. We haven't had that now. We've gone and got Sambi Lakonga. We've got Eddie Nketiah. We've got Holding, Cedric, El Neni, El Nelson, and Nelson. And you wouldn't say that those are players for the future, you know. Gary, in January, it's clear we need to go and get some players. But for now, what can you put your finger on what it is? Is it form? Is it our home form against away form? Or is it big games that we're getting up for, but not getting up for these minor games?
Ray, we had easy start to a season.
Yeah,
we were up for all those small games.
That is true. But we beat. We had our three biggest games this season. We've won two of them. Is that what are we saying? We didn't play well in those three games. We got lucky. No, we actually played well in those three big games, right? Actually, many people say in the United game we were the better team. We didn't get the win. Did we not play? I saw North London Derby. We looked really good there.
Yeah,
I saw Liverpool. Did we look good there? We did. So like you said, so no, and we 1 minute, you look Nottingham Forest just beat Liverpool. Did we say that was just what was that? What was that? City is drawn and lost. Has drawn twice and lost this season, right? Nobody has a win. Nobody has.
Yeah, look, Ray, we played Crystal Palace, Leicester, Bournemouth, Fulham,
and Leicester City. How are they doing right now?
They're on the upsurge.
I mean, everybody has.
What do you think, Stan? Sorry, Gary, we'll get you back in. Stan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to so I was in the Houses of Parliament for a minute.
Just where we're going with this thing.
I just think there's no easy games. There are no easy games. And if you look at the Liverpool game with Nottingham Forest, there was one school of thought that you could say, well, look at Nottingham being really fluky there and beating Liverpool. Or you could say, wow, look at Nottingham there working really hard as a team to beat Liverpool on the day. Play that game 10 times, maybe Liverpool win it the other 9. But on the day, they weren't up. They didn't get what was needed to be done, and Forest did. So I don't like to just start looking at the manager all of a sudden because you've gone into a small slump and saying you can't get the players up for it. It's his fault and this fault. I need a bigger sample size because I think that we've done extremely well since the beginning of the season, but we don't have as much quality in our depth. So there's going to be a drop off. We just don't have the depth to put in quality players when needed. We either got a good first team or we take them all out and we got dross.
Yeah, but look at the team today. Would you say that's a weak team that we fielded?
Yeah.
So
team's incredibly weaker without Thomas Partey and Gabriel Jesus, I think.
I don't think any of us are wrong. I don't think any of us are right either. Yeah. I think we're all getting a little piece of the real answer. Gary?
No, I was just going to say, compare today's lineup with Nottingham Forest. Are we saying Nottingham Forest has a better lineup than we had today?
No.
I mean, you had your first choice keeper.
So they should be able to play a solid game against this team, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I don't think it's this. I think he doesn't understand how to play with these sets of players that he knows. He knows them. He has to know them. They've been around. They've been with him for a while now.
But most of
but he has to figure out a way. Right. He has to have an answer, though. The problem is he has to have an answer, and I can't. And that's what I'm saying. He has to have an answer to be able to play with these players.
Gary, the manager gives chances to some players, and some of those players have not taken their chance. They've not progressed.
Yeah. But sometimes you have to play with the cards you dealt, right?
Yeah.
So
that's what we're doing tonight.
Yes, but to do that, and you don't want to lose, right? So you put them in a position to succeed, right?
So how could you do it any different?
Play to their strengths, right?
How do you put them in a position to succeed? How do you put?
That's what I said last week. You have to play the players in their best position.
He's
You
a
just
number
can't
8. Is that what
plug
you're
and
saying?
play. You can't plug and play.
He's not a 6. All right. No matter what,
Not
we
a 6.
keep trying to push him into this 6 role, and he's not. He's not
He
the
did
man.
it good as a 6 today, though. That's the problem.
So you really said that we
Did you
got.
see how they were slicing through our defense today? Did it look like we look solid on the back today?
Did you see how much space he had in front of him?
All right.
What does that have to do with anything?
Let's get Stan in again. I got to get to Alonso as well. Stan?
So when you say, like, you know, we've got to play to our player strengths, does that mean that somehow we've got to work the ball onto the opposition's goal line so that Eddie can then just tip it over the line and it's like, yay, goal? I mean,
I haven't even got to Eddie. Come on, stop. Eddie, no, just hold Eddie for later. I'm talking about everything else behind Eddie. Come on.
Eddie Backman.
That's another show.
Seba wants to know, Ray, how come every team that beats us always shows more desire?
Ray.
Football
the
is
Eddie
about
stuff will be on the
11
bonus
players.
disc of the DVD set.
Ray.
Hold on, Tony. Football is about 11 players versus 11 players. If those 11 have more desire than Arsenal's 11, they're going to win some games. Tony.
Hello there.
Can we look at our back 5? We had our starting keeper of Ramsdale, Damiaso, Tierney, Saliba.
Hang on a minute.
And
1
Holding.
minute, lads. Hold on 1 moment. Alonso, what's that big ass drink you're drinking now? I know what it is.
It's
Some type
What
of
is it?
Pepsi.
Big ass polystyrene cup.
it's
Slush
Is it
puppy?
from Sonic?
yeah, it's a cranberry limeade, man.
Cranberry limeade. Nice.
It's
A
good.
connoisseur.
I like the strawberry one's the best.
BX is right here. If it's not the strongest starting 11, we look like a completely different team. No Jesus, no Xhaka, Partey, Gabriel.
Zaka started, though. So,
No, but he's talking about our spine, right?
The 5.
When you weaken a spine in any point, it's just we're done.
I still think we've been missing Zinchenko the most.
I mean,
The spine is terrible. Zinchenko's not going to help us today.
It's almost like BX knew what you were going to say. So
he plays on the outside. He's not going to help us today. It's right through the middle.
Yeah. Stefan is here. Good to see you, Stefan. If you're still in top 3 by Christmas, Arsenal got a chance. And if you can play rubbish and still get a result, all's good.
Yeah. Yeah, but getting a result is not all she wrote, and that's why I always talk about performance over results every day, because it looks like this when our performances have been bad, right? And we got lucky. Everybody would say we got lucky. 2 of those 1-0 wins, we had a chance to lose them the way that the team was playing, right? Could have lost to Leeds, could have lost to Bodo, right?
Roll call.
I think on one match. What is that video? What's that audio stuff going on? Who's doing that?
I think it's roll call for Stan.
Okay.
Take your positions. Take your positions.
Oh, is that? I wasn't listening. I was chatting away. But no,
You sound like a cheerleader.
No, but think about it. The PSV match, right? Then we played them at home. I believe we played that defensively well, right?
Yes.
They got nothing, right?
Yeah.
So today, like I said, for me, it kind of always starts with that center back pairing. I felt like that weakened us one way, and it just seemed like everything else fell in the same place, right? So, and Jesus, I think, started in that match. So there you go. Nketiah doesn't put pressure on the back on their back line like Jesus does. And guess what? When that happens, what does that mean? That's like when we used to have Lacazette, right? He's not going to press from the front.
Yeah.
Right. And they're going to get into our half of the field easily, very easy, because we have no pressure up top. So they get the ball wherever they want. So
Alonso, jump in if you want to say, if you put your hand up, if you want to say something, or what have you got, Alonso?
So to answer the Rose question, I guess Sonic has like good drinks, good slushes, good shakes, good burgers, everything, man. So right?
Let's just talk about Sonic, because I'm just gonna get pissed off every time we talk about this stupid game.
Obviously, so Gary. Anyway, so yeah, I mean,
I thought he was a new player we're going to buy in January, Sonic.
Yeah.
I think Arsenal have to go to buy in January to maintain a challenge and to build for the future. I think that's the title of the podcast today. And this morning I put it out. We need more. We need
Well,
more. Arsenal need more, Alonso.
to add to what Tony and Gary were saying about how we've been playing tired lately. I mean, that's no secret. I think that's what causes a lack of goals, lack of scoring right here.
Yep.
And you try to put all your coins in one basket. I guess that's what they say, and you come up with nothing because the guys are just so worn out. And I was hearing a press conference with Gabriel Jesus, aka Gabriel Jesus,
Yep.
answering questions about how many games does he want to play, and he said 70. And it's like, wow, that's a pretty high mark for a guy that played at City, and he got 22 games, I believe, is the highest goal games he's got in at City.
Yeah.
In the Premier League, rather. And you think to yourself, well, he says he's eating well and sleeping better because he has a little girl now, which I just assumed that if his girl's a 5 month old toddler, you don't get much sleep, pal. Right? So I don't understand how he's getting better sleep with the pyro hanging around. My point being is that I think he's speaking on what the fans want to hear. And though it's encouraging, this guy's not a robot. He's not a machine. Sooner or later, he's going to have some rest. And so do other players. And, this is where I think you have issues with depth. Though they could be better, there's a lack of range of talent there, a huge gap. And it kind of sucks because we're at the top of the table and we're also trying to get the top of the group. But with that being said, it's like, well, hopefully they need to buy. It's not like they need to buy in January to make this thing work better.
Mm-hmm.
Because we could be facing Juventus, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, all these teams that are finishing third in the Champions League. We need to play better, or at least spend money so we can play better as a team. So,
yep. Tony, I'm looking at the assemble here. It says Stefan, I'm not buying that we will buy in January. Nonsense. Arsenal have shown us that summer window is when they invest their money. And the majority of the money will be spent in summer, but we do need something. We need a couple, at least 2-3 players in January to help us get through here. I've got a list of about 5 players who are not working. Some of them are playing in the Europa League.
You comment and don't let me mention my name and don't let me comment, right?
I'm giving you a question.
Okay.
We have a lot of players that are playing consistently in the Europa League, and they're not good enough. They need replacing.
I disagree, Ray. Still think it's fatigue. Sunday, you said either Thursday or Sunday.
You think Eddie and Keddy's missing chances because of fatigue?
Not him.
Go ahead, Tony. You still think it's fatigue?
I still think it's mainly fatigue. You were talking about that either today or this coming Sunday. We talk about the minutes that all the players have. But I think that's a big part of it. Part of it's missing Zinchenko, another leader, being in there. He helped the team a lot. I don't think it's just a coincidence. Our form's dropped since he's been out. But like I said, the test would be playing every 3 to 4 games here in October. We started off a month pretty good. Second half of a month, not so good. And it's not, you were saying big teams, small teams. We were beating all the small teams to start the season.
What small teams?
Most of the big teams.
What small team?
He's talking about Bournemouth, Aston Villa at the time.
Crystal Palace, all the teams we played starting off the year. Bournemouth, all
the teams that look they don't look as small as they did. They don't look small now.
Yeah, Aston Villa are getting
Just,
chest
I'm
out.
just saying, this is these are tough tests every match. We know this,
Yes.
so we know
Not
this.
easy
You're
to win
not nobody's
games.
just going to roll over and give you it. You got to go take it, right?
Yes.
If you don't take it, then it looks like the Leeds match. It looks like the Southampton match,
Newcastle.
right? No, I'm just talking about this season.
Yeah.
Look at those two matches. If you don't take it from a team, they will come back because they will get an opportunity,
But
right? That's
but
why. That's
today
why City.
everybody
That's why City doesn't win every match because guess what? When they don't bring it, the other team does,
Mhm.
right?
everybody considers Zaka our leader. He played today. No fire passing. One of his
Yeah.
worst games.
Yeah, look, we had a team capable of getting a result out there. They just didn't
I
match.
thought it was a really good team.
They just didn't match. It's in here, Tony. They have to go out collectively and want to win, all 11 players. And if one player doesn't play well, you can still get a result with the other 10
I
pulling.
still think the main problem, we didn't have
But
anybody to put the fucking ball in the net.
that's it. That's been
That
our
being
problem
Eddie.
the last 3 or 4 games. Gabriel Jesus has missed a couple of chances, but I'm not ready to call him Lacazette yet.
I know. I saw that comment. And I'm like, wait a second. The man's got 8 contributions in 11. Well, I guess
Yeah.
11 matches, and you're saying he's Lacazette?
I think he's
No.
had 4 assists
Our
and 5
team
goals.
looks
9.
better when he's in. I don't think he's 100%. I don't think he's recovered from, if it's a concussion, I don't know what he's
Yeah.
not back because he doesn't look like it. Something looks off, right?
Yeah.
And he's always going to come back and support the midfield. That's what he does. But he also will make sure he's up top when you need him to be because he does get opportunities. So I think he's trying to get himself back in there, but there's something still not 100% about
Right.
what he needs
Yeah.
to show for it. So we're not where we are today without Jesus. You talk about Zinchenko. Zinchenko doesn't get us here. Zinchenko is just another good piece to have in our war chest, right? But I don't think you take Jesus up. I don't think we're better for it. We're better than where we are today. We saw it the first time he came in preseason. We saw it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Everything changed. The team played differently.
The problem, Gary, though, is the way he plays isn't sustainable. He invites lots of fouls, and then he goes out there and commits lots of fouls.
Gabriel Jesus. I mean, that's the make of the player. Really, I don't think we're moaning Myrtles. I think we're talking about desire. The thing that's between your ears. It's concentration. It's desire.
Yeah, but that's
will to win.
What are we supposed to
That's
talk
what
about
we're
then
excelling
today?
at with
If we're not going to talk
Jesus
about
and
how this game
Zinchenko
was
in the
played,
squad.
I don't get it. What are we supposed to talk about then?
Tony, I have a question, Tony. So in today's game, right? I didn't see the game. What made you think that Xhaka didn't bring it today, or didn't have enough heart in him, or enough fire?
He just didn't look as sharp as he had. Didn't seem like he was communicating much. Because the thing that always bothers me the most on anything Zaka ever did is saying that we go into games afraid to lose. That should never be part of the mentality.
And to say it and then go out there and do it, that just doesn't make any sense to me.
That should never be part of it.
He actually said it, and then you just said he went out there and played just like that.
Yep.
I mean,
He said
the clue, the answer, the issue is right there in front of your face, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. The only time he showed fire today is when he was getting the yellow card. I mean, that's the only time.
That's the same.
That's the only time we look like we had any kind of like fire in us is when we put those yellow card challenges in there. That's the only time we look like it today. Like, you know what? No, and a little late.
And next
little
week
late.
we don't have Zaka because he's out because of yellow cards.
Yeah.
Yep.
If we need Xhaka to beat Zurich, then we're in trouble, right?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, listen, the notes that I have, we're going to put a little bow tie in this game and put it in our rearview mirror because you know what? The players have done that. They didn't have the desire to go out and get a result tonight. And they're going to leave it till next Thursday to qualify. And I think we're good enough to do it. Absolutely. 38 minutes, Martinelli misses a great chance. Simmons is good looks like a good player for PSV. His goal was offside. Erdegaard's shot was saved, and then we get to halftime. Gakpo has the shot wide. The first goal comes. That's a bit of a mess. Rams shooting to Ramsdale's left, and then the second goal is a horror show from Ramsdale. He really should have punched that one clear.
I don't know how he just barely tipped it. And just...
I think Tierney he didn't go through. He didn't barrel through Tierney. That's one of those things where if you're going to come out, you have to come out. Nothing can stop you. You are a locomotive. Nothing's stopping you.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting to that ball. He doesn't do that, and Tierney. You can see Tierney's right in front of him, and he doesn't get to the. He swipes at it. He misses.
My guy Reddy was
point.
not referring to us. He was referring to everyone else, Simone, or other podcasters. Cheers.
Last year, that was our strong point for corners. We didn't concede until the Newcastle game with 2 games left of a season. Now we've already given up, I think, 3 now.
Yeah. I wonder if he was even prepared to play, which is a silly thing to say. He should be prepared to play all the. I don't think we look like we're a team prepared to play. And I think Ramsdale probably wasn't expecting to play today, right? Coming in like if you told him after Sunday you're playing on Thursday, he's like, no. And I think mentally it's hard. It was hard for him to turn it back on, right? Because usually we talk about all these players that are talking. Xhaka wasn't talking. Ramsdale wasn't his happy self in the goal, right? And we needed that today, right? Erdegaard needs to do that when we like you watch your teammates struggling. Somebody needs to come up and get these guys going.
Stefan, in his witch's capacity, he's going to cast a spell.
Nah, you know that's not going to work. It's not going to work. This has got all anti-witch spell like written all over it. It's not going to work, dude. It comes with it. It comes when we put the shirt on. So stop it. Don't even bother.
Gary, so that's our first defeat in Europe. Listen, any final things to say about this game? Probably not too much, right?
I think I tried to say as much. I think I tried to say as much as I could about this match. I wrote down some notes, but like they're all just like
scattered like Arsenal's performance, right?
Yeah, I was talking to somebody, and I swear we lost by 4. That's what it felt like. It felt like we lost by 4 today.
Listen, we didn't turn up, and we deserved to lose by 4. And we looked very ragtag at the end of the game, and Ramsdale was not happy. Seeing everything in front of him.
Yeah.
So needless to say, we are not going to make anybody pick a Don Juan man in the match for tonight. Tony, any final thoughts in this group, the Europa League, before we move on to the Premier League here?
Still a few thoughts on the game. Definitely don't want to see Saliba and Holding again. It's a horrible matchup. We've seen it didn't work before. He went with Gabriel last week. It worked. Today, back to Rob Holding. He's just not good enough. I think that's why we're looking at Ndicka. There's some other center backs we've been linked to. We definitely need one because Gabriel and Saliba can't play every game. They got to rest. Four center backs isn't enough. And while we're on center backs, we might as well give our thoughts out to Mari, who got stabbed at an Italian grocery store because some lunatic took a knife off a shelf and decided to start stabbing people.
Yeah, what's wrong with the world? I don't know what's wrong with the world. We wish, of course, Pablo Mari all the best in recovery. And, people, the thoughts and prayers to somebody has died. I think at least one person has died as a result of the attack. I don't know. The words can make sense of this stuff. Alonso?
Yeah.
Any final thoughts on this group game? I mean, it's all the eggs are in the basket. It's right there again. We have another opportunity again next Thursday against Zurich.
Yeah, I mean, it's at the end of the road. Obviously, you always want your team to win, but it kind of shows you that you know, the players aren't in the right positions to succeed. Basically, you put Vieira, I believe he was playing on the wing, and he's really an attacking midfielder. Other than that, I don't want to go on Sambi Lakanga. I still think he has a future here. And, you know, I don't know what's going to happen against Nottingham Forest, even though we're going to play Tamiyasu at the left, which doesn't make any sense to me. I think that's kind of hurt as well. Our goal, sorry, our creativity down the left. I think that's kind of hurt us a little bit. Um, and it kind of shows that Tim needs to be playing more. And just rotate. I think we're going to rotate more after the World Cup because we never know what's going to happen with Gabriel or Tamiyasu or Saliba if they go to the World Cup. So yeah, it's going to be an important time coming up for Arsenal. Hopefully, we don't choke it up like we did, against Newcastle. The wins we needed to win, they didn't come. So hopefully, this is not a time and period where we lose games and be more creative, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, we're heading into a time where we have a few games left, but they're vital games for us, and we need to start winning games. Tony was using his Manscaped right there, I think, earlier, right, Tony?
Wasn't me.
Okay.
It wasn't me.
Okay, then Alonso, it was you. Okay.
It was me. That's the hockey score. So.
He assembled a question for us. Do we believe Arsenal have improved where it counts? Yeah, when it comes to the first 14 players in the squad, they have it where it counts. I mean,
The only problem is 4 of them are our fullbacks.
we don't have depth beyond our fullbacks or our number 10 position, let's say, our central attacking midfielder.
Yeah, but the most important thing is that killer instinct that Zinchenko and Jesus gives us.
Yeah.
That's the difference of this season and last season.
Well, that's why
the mentality of those two.
He doesn't look like he doesn't look like he's back. I mean, yes, everybody's holding a knock, right? But he doesn't look like he's back where he's going to give us that extra fire. And nobody wants to, as they say, pick up the mantle and take that role for just a bit while he figures out how to get his football back. Nobody stood up today.
You'd hope that would be your captain. You'd hope that would be Odegaard, but he seems too much of an introvert to actually ever be captain. He doesn't seem vocal.
Yeah.
I mean, the only 2 vocal guys you see on there is Xhaka and Gabriel. They weren't starting, but there's really not enough vocal people out there.
That's why you have
Xhaka
and Gabriel Jesus as vice captains, so they help him out.
Yeah. It sounded like a vibrator said it's on the road. It was Tony.
That's what I thought it sounded like.
All right, let's move to another section.
Lonnie and his rabbit.
Talked about Pablo Mari. Listen, Gary, Mikel Arteta had a press conference before the game yesterday, and he basically said, we need more. He's brought some kids. We have a few injuries. El Neni and Emil Smith-Rowe being the main one. And El Neni's kind of exposed Sambi Lakanga. We don't know what's going to happen with Sambi or Eddie, but I don't think they're going to be our solutions moving forward. We need to go out and get something in the January window. And this result makes it crystal clear, right?
Oh, yeah, I think we've seen
crystal clear when
he wasn't talking to you.
Gary,
Gary. You not know your name.
Usually you don't.
You don't know your name. You're still talking.
You have to first, when I say Gary, you have to log that it's Gary.
He doesn't. He doesn't know his name. You should write it down and then put it up, and then he'll know when he can talk. Now you made me lose my train of thought. Ray, how did you finish that up?
Hey, we need to go into the January window, right?
Yes, we do.
We need more.
Yeah, and we knew if I was Arsenal, I would already know I need to bring somebody in January. It wouldn't be like, well, now we know we need it. No, we needed. We weren't going to get all the numbers and the players that we needed because we knew. For me, we were. So was it Partey went down and we were looking at Douglas Luiz? That would for me.
Yeah.
That we
Oh,
should have
no,
done
no.
that anyways,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Oh, no, no.
We should have done that anyways because I never thought Sambi would be the one for us. Maybe it can be part of that 8 rotation, right? Because we need somebody there, but we needed somebody to sit in front of that back line no matter what. Somebody a little bit more
He did that
more,
today for 55 minutes, Gary.
It's been ineffective though, Tony. It has been.
it's not working. I don't know what
we
did you
didn't
see?
score until he was going off the pitch.
Yeah, but
What
we
is that?
didn't score when he was on the pitch.
What did you
I
see?
said I meant they did not
Yeah,
score.
but you know what? That
until
was
we
when
moved
didn't
the
I
table.
think people look to this. Here's what I think happened because when Partey was about to come in, he came up, he warmed up, he went back to get his shirt. By the time he got lined up, we'd already given up a goal. It's almost like we saw, like, okay, we see it. We're gonna get back into this because we're bringing in our savior. And guess what? We forgot to continue to play football through that entire time. And guess what? When you don't run through the tape, somebody else beats you to it, and that's exactly what happened. Looked like we're always looking for the next person to come in.
Yeah.
We're always looking for the next game to play. But you're talking about players coming in. The same holes we had to start the season. Same holes we had last season. We got the same ones now. Behind Jesus, I'm glad we got Jesus because we didn't have a Jesus before, but we needed somebody behind him. We needed somebody behind Partey, right? The fact that we played Fabio out wide and not play Marquinhos, who that's his position, seemed weird to me, right? I thought Vieira was more of a midfielder, playing either at 8 or a 10 is what I thought he could play, depending on how we decide to use him. So it looks like we need a wing still, right? Holding is he was good as a closer, but we're asking him to play full games for us, and I don't think he can do it. He can't do it, right? I mean, the second goal, it's his man it's his opportunity to stop it, and he doesn't. I don't know what he was doing. The ball's coming, and he didn't go goal side. He just basically gave up the whole inside of the pitch, and that's where the ball ended up going. And voila, he's beat, and they just get it. See
I
that
thought
too many.
Saliba looked every bit as bad as he did today.
Yeah. So, and I like you said, I never liked that pairing from the first time I saw it, and it didn't change my mind today either.
Hey, you were shouting it last week. I was
Yeah.
shouting the week before.
Yeah.
No more of those two together.
Yeah. So
we see it today.
Yeah. So we need another 9 or forward, whatever you want to call it, another CDM 6, whatever you want to call it, another wing on the right hand side. I think is that.
Do you think, Gary, the league position that we are in now will make a stronger case for us to go and get?
It should. You don't want to waste that. You don't.
Yeah.
You don't want to waste what just happened, right?
Yep.
So these players need to know we're finishing strong, right? You come out against Forest at home, you come out against Zurich at home, you're coming out. We're talking about that energy, that fire. We're playing, Arsenal football. All that, whatever just happened yesterday, what happened like a couple hours ago, nah. We got to change it right now. We're not changing it when we get back from the World Cup. No, we're changing it in the next match, right? So I expect the team to come out ready to play. Whoever plays, my concern is we're going to have an issue if Jesus does get that yellow.
And you see, this is what I have a concern with is Eddie Nketiah. He signed that big deal, right? And in the offseason, and the kit number. That should mean something. That should mean something to him. And instead, he just went around running circles. I'm assuming. And this is not today. It was on Sunday too. That every chance he gets, he doesn't really take advantage of it. And it's just memorizing to me on what does it have to take for Eddie to get that fire lit, right? To realize that he needs to score goals when he's going to be successful. And I was also giving on Sunday saying that, well, how is it as Arsenal can win games if the substitutes are not going to make a difference? And I thought about that. I was like, he's right, because none of these substitutes look like they're going to score at any time.
I think the subs come in way too late. By the time they come in, the momentum that you're trying to stop, it's a runaway locomotive, and you can't stop it, right?
Yeah, but he does it in Europa. He does it in
No. But
but not in the Premier League.
What I'm saying is, somebody should have come in at halftime. This wasn't a match where, all right, I'm going to give you 10 minutes and then we're going to put somebody in. No, this was not going to change.
Yeah, instead of doing Sambi at 55
Partey should have
off.
came in at halftime and got his feet, because the early part of the half, maybe things are a little bit slow. Everybody's trying to get bedded into the way the second half is going to go, and we have Partey in, and things are looking good for us, right? But no, we just go, we stick with the status quo, and I think we paid for it. By the time we decided to use Partey, too late. What did you see in the first half that led us to believe we're going to stop that? They had 2 goals taken away from us. They looked like they're going to score it whenever they had a good opportunity.
And that's with 25% possession. They almost scored 3 goals.
So you have to change that, right? Because that means all that possession is wasted, right? How many, all those, like you said, 70% of possession, and we're not getting as much as we can. And we looks like you said, we got a lot of shots off, but nothing that threatened them. We should have scored. We didn't look like we were going to score, whereas they looked like they were going to score.
We can't keep winning the possession, but it's what has been killing us in the last few games has been conversion of our shots, or getting our shots on target and converting them into goals. A lot of our shots are going straight at the goalkeeper. Eddie, I don't know if you mentioned Eddie and Kedia today.
I've been trying to. You guys want to
talk about. That's what those two were talking about.
I thought we were going to get out of here about talking about him.
Yeah,
I mentioned him because I was kind of disappointed because like Tony was saying, like back a while back,
he's had clear-cut chances and he just misfires.
Right, but he got to be putting those in the back of the net, Tony. Yeah. If he's getting paid what he's getting paid, and also the number on his jersey,
it's not the jersey.
Yeah, it is.
He got everything he wanted.
Yeah, right.
He got everything that he wanted in this. Yeah, and he's not returning the favor.
Like Gary said, like it's frustrating because, like Gary has said, he's getting everything all he wanted. Yeah, he's gonna go to the media and say, "I want more playing time," but he's not fighting for that, right? Yeah. He's not causing Arteta to make changes in the lineup every Sunday or every so often.
So we have Eddie, who said he needs to play and he needs to. We're not seeing it, and we've seen it from Sambi talking in the press as well. He's reconsidering his position.
What is these young players who aren't actually performing talking about? I want more playing time, right?
Yeah,
that's another reason why I don't. These young players. Nah, you look at a Saka. They're not talking like that about playing time. They're going out there and taking it.
Doing this,
right?
Yeah.
He took all the minutes away from Pepe. Nobody thought that was going to happen. Right?
Mm-hmm.
He said Pepe who, and he took all his minutes. Right? Nelson, you don't get minutes either. Right? We got players they identify certain players that they don't want to spend the money on. Like they took shortcuts, I think, on Tavares, Sambi, Marquinhos, and they're not getting it in return. They have, which to me means because you can identify some good players because everybody else we had that desire that they want to get better and all of that. Sometimes maybe it's better. We should have gotten 5 players instead of 6 because an extra player who's not giving you anything isn't helping. Right?
Yeah, exactly. I think Eddie will be here next season, but he won't be our second striker. I think he may be our third striker.
That's a waste. It's a waste of time.
Yeah.
Thanks,
If
Mom.
Balogun scores over 12 goals, do we not bring him back and give him an opportunity to be the third striker?
We have to bring his. We
In
have
January?
to bring him back.
That could be an option in January, bringing him back as well. Who
You
knows?
know what we could have did, Ray? Gary?
What?
You
Say it
know what
again.
we could have did, Gary?
What we could have done? Do you know what we could have done, Gary? What?
You know who you always talk about, who we need a replacement for?
Bartek?
There's a perfect replacement for him. He plays for Newcastle, scored 2 goals,
Kamaris?
can play central defensive mid, can play
You're talking about a
central
player that's
midfield.
not available to
I
us.
don't know.
He was available for us last January.
We bought
You know,
nobody. He
Tony,
wasn't available to us
there
because we
is
didn't
a
even want
story-
him.
He was available.
We didn't
refused
want
to pay
him.
it.
We didn't
Yeah.
want him.
There is a story
That
there. We don't
agent,
know.
his agent said we refused to pay the money, Gary.
We don't
We
know.
didn't want him.
We wanted
Well,
him.
no, we
just
didn't.
gonna spend it.
It costs money to get players. We didn't want him.
There is a story. I just don't know what the story is. Do you know what I mean? Okay. We're going to do another 40 minutes, 35, 40 minutes.
Well, think about it. We went out and bought Vieira for 30. You're telling me we were going to spend whatever 35, 40 to get Gourmares,
Mars.
right?
Mars.
Yeah.
Or we could have gotten Kulichevsky, right? Right? I mean, so we have if we show that we will spend the money for the players we want. We didn't want him. Didn't want him because we go
What
out
his
there and
agent said.
we go out there and we spend money on the players we want.
Yeah.
And you had a Duke saying if we
I didn't get. I saw
grab
Mr.
players
Tom
in
and Stefan
January,
and
it would've-
Thunder Road and Riddy. I don't know if I said hello to everybody. Mr. Tom, I saw some of your comments and saying that
Mr.
me and
Tom.
Tony are in our element because we lost. Are you kidding me? No, I don't want to be in this. This is not where I want to be. This is where we are. I
Look,
don't want to be here. I'm not happy here.
listen, if you're going to lose a game, Gary, here I go. I don't want to say this, but if you're going to lose a game, this is the kind of game you want to
No,
lose.
I don't want to lose anything. So, no, because you know what
If you're gonna lose
you know
a
what
game.
this breeds. You know what this breeds. It's all right, and it shouldn't be all right. No, we take losing hardly. We don't
Right.
like it. It's really bad. It creates a
Yeah.
trend. We've seen it,
It's
Yeah.
all
Right?
It's
and we want and we need to stop.
Yeah, let's stop right now. Tony, real quick, and then we're going to get into the Premier League.
Ray, which game would you went for? Would you went for this week's game or next week's? Which one would you went all out to win?
In terms of the 2 Europa League games that were left, yeah, I would have put all my dice on Zurich, honestly. I
So
thought we
why
should-
did we waste our starters of a Premier League getting them tired tonight when we're down 2 goals? Makes zero fucking sense.
Do you want those players not to be rusty on Sunday? Give them a run out.
They're not that get rusty. They've been playing every 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, right.
I don't know.
You wanted us to play for Zurich, but then how that means you would have rested them today and given them a week off. But to have them play, the opposite way around, you're going to get a week off no matter what if you do a good job. But we didn't do a good job. Either one. We didn't plan for Zurich as our game to win, and we didn't try to win today.
Here we
I
are.
don't think,
Gary, we're in the Europa League situation that we were in the league last year. Win
Mhm.
against Tottenham or win against Newcastle, and you're
Yeah.
in. Oh, this is easier. Win against PSV. We didn't do that, but we better win against Zurich next Thursday.
This was Newcastle 2.0.
Riddy is off. Thanks, Riddy, for staying with us. I thought it'd be a slow day today, an Arsenal loss. But Riddy, thanks for being here. Thanks for the show. Have a fantastic weekend, everyone. On to Forest now, and brush up on your Forest trivia, because we'll have a Kahoot maybe based on Forest, right? That's the trend. Mr. Tom says Gary's the sort of person who would play FIFA on easy mode, win all 50 games a season. That's Tony. He doesn't like the roller coaster.
I don't even know what that means. What does he mean?
When breeze through your season, win 50 games.
Stan's the one that puts it on easy mode. I put it
I
on
don't know what that means.
elite or
I don't play that.
professional.
I don't play that stupid game. So I don't know how that relates to whatever I'm saying. I never said I want to. I want to play. I want things to be easy. Right? That's not what I've never said that. You never heard that come out of my mouth.
Boy, good thing I mentioned more to you earlier.
I don't know what I don't know what Mr. Tom is talking about. He talks about a lot of nonsense. That's nonsense.
No.
That's what the nonsense looks like.
Yeah.
Hurry, fix
All right.
it, Ray.
Listen,
there we go.
We're gonna do 30 minutes, maybe 35, and we're gonna get out of
You
here.
have a hot date or something, Ray? Why are you rushing through?
I want you and Gary still to be friends, and I think your
For your anniversary?
I think
Me
you
and
can
Gary
test
will
it for
always
the
be
next
friends.
35 minutes.
I love Gary.
Yeah, we're all right.
We're all right.
I don't know what this FIFA thing.
I just wanted
you know
Gary
what?
to take care of a damn dog.
That's what couples say when they're on the rocks, Gary.
You know what
We're
it is?
all right.
You know what it is? I sucked at video games, so I don't like them. So
all right, I'm going to give Tony the honor of starting us off. Tony, Manchester City go to Leicester City on Saturday. First game.
Let me bring up the schedule. Tell me their positions, Ray. I'm too lazy to bring up the other screen of Twitter.
17th place, Leicester City. They've actually won a couple of games that beat some teams around them. Mr. Tom, cover your ears right now.
I'm kind of thinking this would be Leicester 1, City 2, unless Holland has some freak deal, then it'd be like 4-2.
What's the status on Holland? Is he was taken off halftime or something for an injury? Maybe he's going to have an injury, but I would expect Leicester to give them a tough examination, but for Manchester City to come.
Yeah, I think most likely it'd be 2-1, but
yeah. Gary, Leicester to put a difficult 30 minutes on Newcastle, or not Newcastle, Man City, but Man City come through in the end.
Yeah, I think. Well, that's the thing. I think you have to start off pretty quickly, and it's Madison, right? He's actually been playing well. So if he has a really good a good game, they could get something out of it. But you got to play for 90 minutes. That's the problem.
Haaland came off with a foot injury, Gary.
Who did?
Haaland.
Yeah. So yeah, and we know that their offense is struggling when he's out, right? Mm-hmm. So you got to take advantage of it. You're playing at home. You actually are on a roll. You are looking pretty good. You were at the bottom of the table. Since then, you've pretty much jumped up, right? So,
yeah, they've beaten the teams around them, Gary.
Yep.
In the last,
so they're looking. They're I don't know if they're one of the hottest teams right now. Tony can probably tell us.
Newcastle. He's got to tout Newcastle.
No, but I mean from the bottom of the table. Who is at the bottom of the table, right? I mean, if you look at the bottom of the table, the bottom.
Leeds is at the bottom.
No, if you look at the bottom.
Leicester's third.
Not the
third in form table.
The bottom 10 in the table, right? They are probably the best team right now.
Yes,
with the 3 wins they've got in the
third on the form table, Gary.
So so they're pretty good, and they're playing really well right now.
10 points out of their last 5 games.
With the caveat that they have beaten the teams around them. So
why is it 5 games now? But when I said it wasn't 5 games, you just switch it around to suit your needs, right? Last week it wasn't 5 games. It was whatever number you chose to pick.
Listen, the Sambo said Mr. Tom City will adapt to cover that loss.
Blame transfer market, Gary.
Haaland being out is a little bit tiny equalizer because Haaland is that booster.
Only Arsenal and City are the only ones with 4 games up there since we had to play last week, midweek.
Okay, that's why.
So that's the only ones that have 4 games. Everybody else is 5.
Because Arsenal and City didn't play, and they were playing. Arsenal played in Europe last Thursday. They've missed the game, right? Is that what it is, Tony?
Correct.
It's very minor detail. Okay, we all think Manchester City will win this game in the end, but Leicester will ask some questions of them, and I'm here for that. Gary, Newcastle playing at home to Aston Villa, and I'm gonna show the question that
it's hard to tell sometimes because every time I think Newcastle is going to show us something, they come out and they struggle. I mean, they're home, But Villa has shown that they've got the post manager bounce, right?
Yes.
And
It was
so,
pretty immediate. It was the immediate bounce.
yeah, he didn't
within
even
hours.
he never even managed, right? So they got the bounce before the manager arrived. So what are aren't they gonna get now a manager bounce? He's actually no, he's not even coming in until November. So they're gonna have to hopefully they can get this
Oh.
post manager bounce, pre manager bounce.
So
this
Emery's
weekend.
not there right now.
I
Gary.
believe he wants to play it out till November.
Okay.
He wants to. He doesn't. Yeah. So he wants to. Yeah, I think he wants to see it through. What are they in the champion? They're in the Europa Cup or whatever, conference
Maybe
league
they're
or whatever.
in the conference.
Yeah, so I think he wants to see that through and then leave on a, prepare for his leave and all of that. So, and they said, yeah. So, but I mean, winning 4-0, I guess, makes it a little bit easier to be okay with it, right? So,
Yeah.
Yes.
So, no, I think this might actually. I'm gonna go crazy. I think I'm gonna go 2-2. Actually, I'm gonna go 2-2.
Okay, Newcastle have already drawn a lot of games, so you're giving them another draw. Aston Villa on the uprise, but it is a tough place to go to at Newcastle. Tony, Newcastle Villa. I think Newcastle will squeak out the win here.
I think I don't think it'd actually be that close.
Right.
I think Newcastle gets the win.
The question also the assembled had asked very early in the podcast: does anyone think Emery will do well at Villa? He's going to do better than Steven Gerrard. Now, what does well with Villa represent?
They've got some good players, and what we know of Emery, based on what he's wanted at Arsenal and what he didn't get at Arsenal, is that a lot of the times it may have worked, right? What he wanted, right? The style of play that he wanted to play with the players that he wanted to play, the way he kind of managed the players to some degree seemed like it was going to work. It would have worked.
Yeah.
So, and he's got good players there now, so they're not performing. So if he can get, where is he at right now? He's at Villarreal. If he can get Villarreal to play the way they've been playing since he's been there, it might take him a week or two to get going, but I think he can get something out of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does Emery doing well at Villa look like, Tony? What league position? Because the top half of the table is very congested with the top four race, 6 or 7 teams in there.
With those players in there, let me look at the table real quick.
It should be anywhere from 12th upwards would be a decent position for Aston Villa to be in. And, he's a good enough manager that he can do that. Mr. Tom, while you're checking out, Mr. Tom said Haaland
should be 10th or higher, I think, should be the aim.
Haaland will only score 65 goals.
10th to 8th, right?
Okay. City will leave gaps in opportunity. Arsenal and other rivals will have chances.
Yeah.
That's what
as I say about Emery at Arsenal, he was a coach. He wasn't a manager. He wasn't backed by the club. Couldn't play his style. Couldn't bring in his players. So if Villa let him do it, he'll succeed. If not, they'll be in the position they are now.
I don't know if Tony predicted Nottingham Forest beating Liverpool, but Gary kind of mentioned something like that on the Stoop last week. I think you.
I would. I think I was like, that would be really nice to see, right? And then, bang, it happens.
Thunder Road. I went against Arsenal and picked up points, and now I'm in the league.
Now you're in the league. You did it. You did it. I don't think
against your own team.
Hey, did you watch this last week?
I don't want to hear anything you have to say because it's gonna. You already no. You're done.
Tired after that match.
It's in Gary's contract for me to skip over the next game. I can't go to you on this one, Gary. Alonso, Bournemouth at home to Tottenham.
God. Tottenham are going to continue to stay Spursy.
Spursy. Let's have a little bit of a moment about.
Didn't we all
Yes,
enjoy
yeah.
that how that match ended?
Yeah.
Everybody in the world was smiling. Everybody was
Except
smiling.
Conte and Harry Kane.
Nobody cares about them, but everybody else and everybody is enjoying that.
You just skip
Everybody.
over Gary, and here he is.
No,
chipping in.
No,
I
but
wasn't
that's
even.
not
I'm not
the
talking
moment of
about whatever they're
happiness.
doing this weekend.
this is my turn to shine, right?
Yeah.
So it's funny how, like, you know, I bet anything, right? Harry Kane gets 3 dives in the World Cup. Not only that, he gets penalties because of that crap. And it's like, where does it end? This is why I'm kind of excited. I hope that Tammy Abraham or Ivan Antonio or both of them go to the World Cup, just because, I have that feeling that Harry Kane is going to do that stupid crap and get carded, get red carded too, and then again, Suckers had no choice but to play Tony or Abraham. It's going to be funny.
Mr. Thompson, how's it even up for debate? That Spurs goal was clearly offside, and there will be forever Spursy.
Yeah, and the Tactics truck is a road trip.
It never ends.
It's part of the road trip show, so it can't be used outside. Sorry, people. You can only find it on Saturdays.
Look for the Tactics truck on Saturdays over on the trip. The gap between Villa and Arsenal is 16 points. Let's see what it is at the end of the season. I think it'll be more than 16. Just saying. Tony, Bournemouth versus Tottenham.
Tottenham's form
Here we go.
very shitty from playing the midweek games, playing every 3 or 4 games like us.
Yeah.
They were lucky early in the season. They were playing sloppy, getting wins, kind of like us.
Yeah.
They're 12th in the form table, 3rd in the table. This would be a good one to pick for an upset.
It would be.
It's either to be a 2-1 victory for Spurs or probably a 1-1 draw.
Come on, Tony. I see Spurs.
Yeah. All right. I think that team will probably take the 3 points at the end of the day, but
I don't know. That might be my upset pick. We'll see.
obviously we're hoping it won't happen. Gary, Brighton at home to Chelsea. This is Graham Potter's old stomping grounds. He's going back to Brighton.
And, Brighton should not be able to compete with Chelsea, but they've been able to compete. It seems like their style of play works no matter who's at the wheel right now. So it should be a good one. Chelsea has shown that, they can come in and kind of not look so good. So that should be a good match to see. I mean, Chelsea should win it, but I think I'm going to go Chelsea squeaks it out 2-1.
I'm going to take a draw there, 9th versus 5th, as Tony said. 1-1 draw for me. Alonso, Brighton at home to Chelsea.
Oh, shit. I want to see a Brighton win.
Do your job, Ray. What does that mean, Tony? Do your job.
Tell us what position they are in the table, because this is all part of upset challenge.
The man sent it to you. So
I already got 5 fucking tabs open.
Do your homework,
so
Tony.
why isn't the tab on what we're talking about right now?
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Because I'm jumping between the YouTube one and the fixture list and the table.
You
Just
have
the way I do it,
the fixture list with the positions on it in your DM.
Can you read his chicken scratch?
Yes, you can read it. Just blow it up, man. Come on.
Yes, come on.
No excuses. Your
Thank you,
excuse is FC right now.
Thank you, Gary. Your games at hand FC, Tony.
Your stays Toski FC.
Brighton at home to Chelsea. You don't need you don't need.
I think Brighton to lose. I think it'd be 0-2.
All right. I'll stay with you, Tony. People are bailing out here. Thanks for watching, everybody. Crystal Palace at home to Southampton.
Palace.
13th versus 16th. You're hoping that your team, can do something there. I think Crystal Palace will win that game at home. Gary? Patrick Vieira to get things going again.
They've looked really, really suspect, right? And
Yeah.
I mean, I
They're
don't think
10th in the form table, Gary. They're dead center.
I don't know. That's not what I was thinking. So don't try to read my mind.
Ouch.
They haven't looked as good, right? How did they do in the last match? Did they? I don't know. Did they win it?
I think they
Yeah.
lost.
Yeah. So like I said, the matches you expect them to come out and
Loss,
get
win, draw, win, loss.
yeah. So they're not. So as I said, they don't look as good as I thought they would.
They had a tough schedule, Gary.
Blah blah blah. Whatever.
Excuses.
Excuses. So yeah. So I don't. I think they've been struggling. Maybe 10th form is good. I don't. Leicester City has what you said, a top 5, but they're
Three.
like
Three.
what, top 3, and where are they on the table? So it doesn't mean anything. So I think they've been struggling more than I thought they would. I think it should be actually a good match. I'm going to go once again 2-2 again.
Okay. Crystal Palace at home to Southampton, Alonso. I think Palace will win this game.
Well, let's see, Ray. I'm going Southampton.
Southampton, okay. Alonso, Brentford at home to Wolves. 11 versus 19. Wolves are a strange team. They have good players.
I don't get it.
Huh?
I don't get why they're struggling so bad this year.
Yeah, they have a good team. They're probably not putting goals away. They're not taking their chances.
I think Wolves are the nearest one out of this game.
Brentford are probably pretty decent at home. You think Wolves going to get something out of the game?
I do.
A draw or a win for Wolves?
I win.
A win for Wolves. Okay. Tony, I think Brentford will beat Wolves myself.
Brentford's been in terrible form. Wolves been terrible the whole year. It's going to be like a 1-1 draw or 0-0 draw.
They've got quite a few draws in there. Brentford have. Okay. Tony, Fulham are playing at home to Everton. On the road said Wolves can't score and let too many players go.
Fulham and Everton. Fulham at home.
Fulham in 7th place. Fulham at home against Everton in 12th.
Probably 2-1 Fulham.
2-1 Fulham. I'd go for a draw there. Fulham 1, Everton 1. Alonso?
Yeah, so I like how Everton's been in form lately. I think Obi's been playing pretty sharp. I want to see.
It will be, yeah.
I want to see Everton doing well. I hate seeing them at the bottom of the league for some reason. So I want to see. I think Everton is going to win. I think Everton is going to win. Go for Everton.
Okay, go for Everton there. Alonso, I'll stay with you. Liverpool, Leeds. You better say Leeds. Mr. Tom's listening. Liverpool at home to Leeds, 8th versus the 18th.
I think they played Arsenal very well.
Yep.
When played against them, so
yep.
I would not doubt that Leeds can put on a good performance against Liverpool. Liverpool been struggling this year, so I think Leeds are going to put in a good shift. Though I think it'll be a 2-2 draw.
Yeah, I think Liverpool at home are a different animal to Liverpool away from home. So I think Liverpool are going to be pretty strong at home against Leeds. I'd see like maybe a 3-1 win, maybe 3-2. Tony?
Yeah, I think Liverpool's starting to get their stuff together, playing better in the Champions League.
They're playing better at home. I think they're getting their act together at home, but away from home, I think they're still going to be suspect.
Yeah, I think it'll probably be 3-1. If they're playing at Leeds might sneak it, but
yeah,
at home I think it's 3-1.
We'll have a quick word about Arsenal Forest in a moment, but Tony, Man United at home to West Ham. It's going to be a difficult. This is going to be a tight game. I think West Ham are playing really well recently.
Trying to see where they are.
In the form table. I think they've won like 10
fourth
points
and
out of
seventh.
15. Yeah, 10 points out of 15 in the last 5 games, right?
And United's always tough at home. I want to say 2-2 draw, but I think it's going to be 2-1 United at home.
I think West Ham go there and win. I think West Ham will win 2-1. I'm going to say it now. Alonso?
Yeah, I like to see West Ham win as well. I think they have slightly more going forward. I think Man United don't have figured it out still. So I'm going to Man United. West Ham. Sorry, West Ham. 2-1.
Okay. All right, now let's get on to our Arsenal against Nottingham Forest. We'll spend a few minutes here talking about this, and then we'll get out of here. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Slap a like. If you're new around here, subscribe and see us on Sunday, where hopefully we're celebrating winning this game. There's a lot of games are on Saturday. There's only 2 Sunday games, and one of them is Arsenal early on in the day. Tony, how do you see Arsenal sizing up against Nottingham Forest? And Nottingham Forest beat Liverpool last time out, and we drew with Southampton away from home.
Yeah, those two teams are about the same position on the form table. Both starting to pick up their play. Forest have been dead awful until the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
It should be a cakewalk for us. But again, our fatigue kicks in, played our best players the last 30 minutes. I don't think we should have done that. When the game was already lost, we were down 2-0 when most of those players came in. I don't know what the fuck Arteta thought he was doing there. I was worried about the game last week.
The Southampton game.
Yeah, I was worried about that one.
Yep.
Not as worried about this one.
Until now, right?
And then we're at home. We should win 3-1.
Yeah,
Time to get our shooting boots on.
I think Arteta has called for a reset. You know, if the players are listening to his press conference, I'm sure he'll be saying it when he gets back to London. We need a reset here. We need to refocus again, and we need to look at the games that are coming up. Final push here. Listen, I don't know, Gary maybe didn't appreciate what I was saying, but we need to look forward to these games. We've got 3, 4, 5 games left. We've got 5 games left in this part of the season. Then we're going to wait till December, the end of December, until
Chelsea's the only one we should worry about until the World Cup.
Chelsea and Wolves away will be tricky as well. But come back to
I don't
Forest.
think that'd be tricky.
Yeah. Alonso, you there? Yeah, we have 2 Alonsos here. Okay. So, yeah, let me get Alonso in. Alonso, your thoughts on Nottingham Forest then the weekend on Sunday?
Yeah, I think we're probably get we fans probably want 5-0, but probably win 0. I was going to probably win 1-0 with Ben White scoring, of course.
Hey.
Yeah, but I would saying that we need to restart our Arsenal. We need to restart.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe as fans do too. After seeing that perform for the past 4 games, they've been kind of ugly. But yeah, I think since one time we leave our expectations for Arsenal have got really big and really ambitious. So I think a win's a win no matter what. But we need to aim for more goals to be scored because we're a better team now to be scoring enough goals. So I think we probably win this one maybe 4-0.
Yeah, I think this could be a game where we do get back on track and we score a few goals. Gabriel Jesus gets back and he's been close, but he hasn't been scoring goals. I think this is a game where Gabriel Jesus comes back.
What's the latest update on Zinchenko? When the hell is he supposed to be back?
I think they're going to take the time with Zinchenko, and unfortunately, we have two left backs who are injury prone. We know Zinchenko's record has been that way, and Kieran Tierney, he's in the team now playing. So hopefully we can rotate through each of them, two left backs,
And neither one of them can push that really past 20 games in the season.
and Tommy Asu too. The Assemble said, "Where Arsenal's current form, Forest will be tricky. We should win, but a draw wouldn't surprise me." And it would be a very bad result. The Assembled. It's our last home league game before the break for the World Cup, and as such, the players need to refocus and get themselves in.
Surely they can get up for that game.
Huh?
Said surely we can get up for this game.
Yes.
at
Yes.
home.
Yes. And listen, it's going to be a good way to finish the Hunt for Red October. So, Hunt for Red October comprised of win against Tottenham, a home win against Bodo, a home win against Liverpool, and then we went away to Bodo, Leeds, PSV, Southampton, and PSV away. So, anything else to add before we get out of here, Tony?
I do, but you want out of here quick, so I won't have
Go
my
ahead.
long.
Go ahead. Not quick. We got a minute or two.
I don't know. I just hope we get back to our winning ways. I don't feel like going on a long rant.
Darren W is in the house. Hey, Darren. Hope all is well with you. And yeah, listen, I think it's a form cycle. You think it's fatigue. If it's fatigue, we're going to continue on playing poorly, having poor
I
performances.
still want to cover that Thursday, Ray, or Sunday.
Sunday, what?
The minutes of each player.
Okay. Let's go into that in detail over the weekend so we can present that on Sunday. Okay. You think it's fatigue? I think it's a form thing, and I think if it's form, we can get back on form and start winning games again and having good performances. Alonso, how do we feel about Sunday? And good.
I feel good. I'm feeling really confident about the games coming up. I think our just needs to rest some players again because we all know how important Chelsea game is to us fans. So I think if this is a game that we rest players in a league, it would be this one. And then go from there. It's for me a tough 3 games in the league, and especially George coming up too. So if we were to go on break and we end this run undefeated, the next 4 games, I believe, then we'll be okay. And the break comes, and so we gotta hope for the best going forward because we're still on top of the league, and we got to end the break on top of the league. So there's a lot of anxiety going forward with Arsenal right now because there's still a lot of questions that need to be answered. And right now, we haven't been we haven't been in this position for a long time. So this is going to be a question of the players' passion, fire, and heart and courage as well. So it's not going to be easy, but we got to finish this on a high note.
Yeah, Forest are not going to make it easy coming into our place. But Gary, this Forest game is our last home league game before we break for the World Cup, and
Oh my!
if we want to get 3 points, we need 3 points, and if it's fatigue, we're going to continue to have poor results or poor performances. But I think it's a form thing, and I think we can. Form comes in and out a little bit in the season. We can pick up 3 points on Sunday would be valuable.
Yeah, we can't. If if it's fatigue, then players shouldn't have been playing already, and we're not seeing that either. So either Arteta's trying to get too much out of them, or like you said, it's just a bad run of form. That's all. Hopefully, they can work them. I mean, I feel like we need to stop this. Our starting 11 needs to play well, right?
Yes.
And then we haven't seen it in a while, so this is probably not necessarily the
Since
easiest
Liverpool,
one.
we haven't seen it really since Liverpool.
Yeah.
Or Bodo at home.
So yeah. So
and that
now
was at the beginning of the month.
It's I usually can call it and say some player's going to stand out or something like that in this next match. I don't have a clue where that's going to come from.
I believe in Gabriel Jesus' mentality, and when he gets into a position, he's going to put it away this time.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like I think I've said Jesus the last couple of times it hasn't worked. So I'm going to say Martinelli Martinelli will want to come out and play a little bit better than he has in the past and be a thorn in their side, right?
Yeah, these players were cooking earlier this month.
I'm gonna go with Odegaard.
Bukayo Saka's last goal was against Leeds away, and then that was 3 and 4 that he had. Let's hope they return to winning ways. Gary, thanks for joining us tonight.
Yes.
Yeah, listen, hopefully we can look back in the season as this being a poor performance without desire at PSV, and we go on, seal the top of the Europa League by next Thursday, and go and get a win against Nottingham Forest. Alonso, thanks for joining.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. On the third part, I just want to, give my well wishes to Pablo Mary. I know that kind of tough going through that, and just what he's going to go through is really tough right now, So I hope that he gets well soon, and I'm first with him and his family, I guess, and just like everyone involved with that incident, it's a bad road. It's a bad road out there. So it's tough right now for him, and it's the continue to pay for over that AC. Anyway, so it's tough. But anyway, I hope that we win on Sunday, and it'll be a good time for this. So.
All right, and we'll be here on Sunday to have this on the show. Gary will be talking about it Saturday on the trip, and Tony's going to come back and take us out of here.
It's actually the road trip on Saturday, so we'll see you guys on Saturday for the road trip.
I will fix that next time. I'll call it the road trip. Okay.
I corrected you last week.
I know, but I only listen to Gary, really.
Smart man.
Tony, take us out of here. Thanks everyone for watching.
Thanks everybody for joining in. It was kind of a difficult game for me to watch. 3rd week in a row, I've been at the fucking doctors. This time I actually get to watch the replay. It's different sitting there watching a replay, pay attention to different stuff.
Yeah.
And I want Ray to go look at the first 55 minutes and see how you think Sambi did, because I didn't think he did bad.
Okay. I want to be wrong about Sambi. I want to be clear. I want to be wrong about Sambi. I want him to prove me wrong. But I haven't seen it so far, and I will watch 55 minutes of it. But listen, thanks for watching, everyone. Tony, thanks for joining also. Gary, Alonso. We'll see everybody on Sunday. Take care.
Good night, Tony.
Good night, Tony.
All right, see you.